Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed the way a man looks at you? The way his eyes linger just a little longer than they should. Maybe you think he's distracted, maybe you think he's rude, but the truth is far more interesting. There are things men fantasize about, things that most women never realize in today. We're talking about one of the most intimate parts of your presence, your chest. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't about size, shape, or perfection. It's not about fitting some impossible standard or comparing yourself to anyone else. It's about how men perceive confidence, presence, and subtle allure. And here's the fascinating part. What he notices, what he fantasizes about, is often far more complex and sensual than you think. Think about the little moments, the way you adjust your outfit without even realizing it, the way you carry yourself, the energy you radiate when you're confident and playful. He's noticing, and he's imagining, he's picturing intimate moments, not in a crass way, but in a way that connects desire with admiration, closeness, and exclusivity. Today, I'm going to share 5 secrets about what men secretly fantasize about your chest, the thing that most women don't realize, but that can make you feel empowered, sexy, and in control. Once you understand these, you'll see why a man's attraction is about so much more than the physical. It's about how you move, act, and make him feel. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what sparks his curiosity, what makes him linger, and how to naturally use these insights to feel more magnetic than ever without changing a thing about yourself. So stay with me, because this isn't just information, it's the kind of insight that will make you feel confident, irresistible, and in command of the subtle power you already have. Let's start with something that might surprise you. Men aren't just looking at your chest in isolation. What draws him in, what keeps his eyes and thoughts lingering, is your confidence. It's the way you carry yourself, the subtle posture shifts, the energy that radiates from how you move. Confidence isn't about arrogance, it's about self-assurance. And when it comes to attraction, nothing is more magnetic. Think about the last time you walked into a room feeling good about yourself. Maybe your shoulders were slightly back, your head held high, your spine elongated without even realizing it. That small shift, so natural, so effortless, sends a signal to every man in the room that you value yourself. And trust me, men notice. They notice the way your chest naturally lifts, the way your movements are fluid and relaxed, and the way you don't shy away from taking up space. It's subtle, but it's incredibly powerful. Men fantasize about this because confidence in your posture signals a kind of quiet dominance. It tells him you are comfortable in your own skin, and there's something irresistible about that. When he sees you moving with self-assurance, his brain interprets it as strength, vitality, and desirability, all qualities that go far beyond mere physical appearance. And here's the secret. He's not just noticing it consciously, he's imagining it in moments of intimacy, picturing the way your presence fills a space and imagining how that confidence translates into private moments. It's also about the micro gestures, the way you cross your arms casually, the subtle tilt when you lean in to speak, or the natural curve of your back as you reach for something. All of these convey poise and elegance. Men notice these little things, and in their fantasies, these small movements can become incredibly seductive because they convey comfort, self-love, and effortless magnetism. Here's the key takeaway. Posture isn't just a physical thing, it's an emotional language. When you stand or sit with confidence, your chest isn't just a body part, it becomes a signal of empowerment. And men pick up on that. The fantasy isn't just about attraction, it's about admiration, desire, and the subtle thrill of knowing that the woman in front of him owns her space, her body, and her presence. So the next time you feel self-conscious about your chest, remember this. It's not just the shape or size that captivates, it's how you hold yourself. That quiet confidence, that natural ease, is far more seductive than anything else. And the truth is, men fantasize about it more than you'll ever know, because confidence, when paired with grace and authenticity, is magnetic It's the kind of allure that keeps him thinking about you long after the moment passes, imagining what it would feel like to be closer to experience that energy firsthand. Now, let's dive into something that might feel a little closer to home, but in a way that's completely natural and YouTube safe. Men don't just look at your chest, they fantasize about the intimacy of touch, but not in the shallow, objectifying where you might expect. It's more about closeness, connection, and those small, almost imperceptible moments that make a man's mind wander in ways he doesn't even realize. Think about the little gestures you make every day, the way you adjust your shirt, fix your hair, or reach for your coffee. Those small movements are more magnetic than you realize. When he sees them, he's not only noticing the physical detail, he's imagining being that close to you. He's imagining the warmth of your presence, the softness of your skin, the subtle ways your body moves when you're relaxed. And while this might sound simple, the fantasy of touch goes far beyond physical desire. It's about imagining intimacy and trust. What's fascinating is that men often imagine moments that feel private, even if they're completely innocent. For example, a man might picture brushing your hair behind your shoulder, or the playful way you nudge him in a conversation. He imagines how it would feel to be close enough to sense your energy, to share a quiet, intimate connection that's just between the two of you. This is why he can become mesmerized without even realizing it. His mind is drawn to the subtle power of touch, which he associates with both comfort and excitement. There's also an emotional element. When a man fantasizes about touch, he's not just thinking about physical sensation, he's imagining the bond that comes with it. He imagines being the one who makes you feel safe, cherished, and desired in ways others can't. That's what makes it sexy. It's a combination of curiosity, admiration, and longing, all wrapped up in a fantasy that's as much about emotion as it is about attraction. Here's the key insight. Touch is powerful because it's personal. Men are drawn to the idea of being trusted enough to experience closeness with you. The way you naturally interact with your body, your gestures, your movements, your posture becomes a silent invitation in his mind. It makes him fantasize, not in a shallow way, but in a way that's tied to admiration, connection, and desire. So next time you notice him lingering just a little too long or catching subtle cues in your movements, remember this, he's imagining intimacy, closeness, and the kind of touch that speaks volumes without a single word. And understanding this can give you a kind of quiet power, the knowledge that your natural, effortless gestures are more magnetic than you'll ever realize. Because at the end of the day, the fantasy of touch isn't about just physical attraction. It's about the desire to be close, to share intimacy, and to feel that unspoken connection that leaves him thinking about you long after the moment has passed. Now, let's talk about something incredibly subtle, but surprisingly powerful: movement. Men don't just notice your chest in still moments, they're drawn to the natural rhythm and flow of your body. It's not about exaggeration or performance, it's about the effortless way you move and the unconscious signals your body sends. That little sway of your shoulders, the gentle shift as you walk across a room, the natural curve when you stretch, these are the cues that make him stop and take notice, often without him even realizing why. Here's why movement is so captivating. When you move with ease and grace, it signals to him that you're comfortable in your own skin. Men pick up on this immediately because confidence is magnetic, but when it's combined with natural, flowing motion, it becomes intoxicating. The way your body naturally shifts and responds to your environment tells him more about you than words ever could. He's not just looking at your chest, he's noticing how it's part of a whole picture, fluid presence that draws his attention in a way that feels effortless and hypnotic. It's also about contrast and curiosity. Men are visually stimulated in a way that makes them notice the small changes in your posture or the way your energy moves. Maybe you lean in slightly when you laugh, or your body tilts subtly when you're engaged in conversation. Each of these movements sparks curiosity and triggers imagination. He's picturing scenarios, imagining the way it would feel to be close to you, to share a private moment, all because of these small, unconscious gestures. Another reason this is so alluring is that movement communicates energy and vitality. Stillness can be beautiful, but motion signals life, health, and presence. When your chest rises and falls naturally as you move, it conveys vitality without saying a word. Men fantasize about this because it's alive, dynamic, and unexpected. It's different from simply being physically attracted. It's the intrigue of seeing a woman comfortable, expressive, and in motion, and imagining how that energy would translate into moments of intimacy or connection. Finally, movement creates anticipation. Men are drawn to the rhythm of change, the subtle shifts in posture, the way your shoulders, chest, and hips flow together. This natural rhythm keeps his mind engaged, his imagination active, and his attention fixed on you. It's a quiet kind of seduction, one that doesn't rely on revealing anything overt, but instead invites him to notice, admire, and imagine. So here's the key takeaway. Men are fascinated not just by how you look, but by how you move. That effortless grace, that subtle rhythm communicates confidence, vitality, and magnetic allure. Your natural movements are a silent signal, a language that speaks directly to his imagination. And once you understand this, you can see why he lingers in thought long after the interaction ends, captivated not just by your chest, but by the whole mesmerizing presence of you in motion. Not now. Let's talk about something that's deeper than physical attraction. Something that most women don't realize men fantasize about. Admiration. Yes, men fantasize about seeing you feel good about yourself. And here's the fascinating part. It's not about ego or showing off. It's about the magnetic allure of confidence, self-love, and empowerment. When you're comfortable in your skin, when you own your presence, he notices. And trust me, that admiration, it becomes a powerful fantasy in his mind. Think about it for a second. Men are wired to notice subtle cues of self-assurance. When you dress in a way that makes you feel incredible, when you carry yourself with poise, when you laugh freely, or move with unguarded grace, he sees it. And in that moment, he's not just observing, you're actively sending a signal that says, I value myself, I enjoy my presence, and I know my worth. That energy is intoxicating. Men fantasize about it because it's rare and authentic, and it sparks desire on a level far beyond the surface. Here's why this fantasy is so seductive. It taps into his admiration and respect. Men are drawn to women who are unapologetically themselves, who radiate confidence without needing validation. When you feel amazing in your own skin, it triggers his imagination. He pictures being the one who gets to experience your light, your energy, your joy. He imagines those moments of connection where he's the lucky one to witness your confidence up close, seeing you laugh, watching you walk, noticing the way your chest naturally lifts as you exude pride and self-love. That fantasy becomes deeply personal, emotional, and yes, secretly thrilling. Men also fantasize about admiration because it feels exclusive. He imagines being the one whose attention matters to you, the one who notices when you feel empowered and radiant. It's not about possession, it's about connection. The subtle power of seeing you admire yourself in private, or the way your confidence spills into a social setting, makes him imagine intimate moments where he's the audience to your brilliance. And that fantasy lingers far longer than any physical attraction could, because it's tied to emotion, respect, and genuine desire. Another aspect is that this admiration fantasy enhances anticipation. When he sees you enjoying your own presence, he begins to anticipate being part of that joy. He imagines how it would feel to be the one who compliments, cherishes, and matches that energy, to be included in your world in a way that feels intimate, special, and rewarding. This is why men can be mesmerized not just by your chest, but by the aura you carry around it. Combination of self-confidence, pride, and authentic joy that makes your presence magnetic. So here's the key takeaway. Admiration isn't shallow, it's deeply seductive. When you feel good about yourself, when you radiate confidence and self-love, men notice. They imagine what it would be like to be part of that energy, to witness your light, and to be the one who admires you in return. That fantasy is more intimate, more powerful, and more compelling than any physical attraction alone, because it speaks to connection, desire, and the thrill of being trusted with your brilliance. Now, here's the final piece of the puzzle, and it's perhaps the most intriguing. Men fantasize about exclusivity. Imagine being the one who gets to see, touch, and admire you in ways no one else does. And before you think this is about control or possessiveness, it is not it. It's about connection, intimacy, and feeling special. It's about being trusted with something unique, something private, and yes, incredibly magnetic. Think about it this way. When a man looks at you, his mind does just register what he sees physically. It imagines what it would be like to be the one who gets to experience the moments behind closed doors. He fantasizes about being the person who understands your little quirks, who notices the subtle gesture that no one else picks up on, and who gets to share intimacy that is reserved for him alone. That fantasy is deeply alluring because it combines admiration, desire, and connection in one irresistible mix. This is why men often linger in thought, even after the moment passes. It's not just about attraction, it's about imagining a bond that is unique to them. He pictures being the one who gets to witness your confidence, your beauty, your energy in ways others never do. That exclusivity makes him feel chosen, like he is part of something rare, and in turn, it heightens his desire. It's a fantasy rooted in closeness and trust, and it's incredibly powerful because it's personal and emotional. There is also a subtle thrill in anticipation. Men love imagining how it would feel to be the one who experiences private, intimate moments with you. Whether it is the way your chest moves when you laugh, the natural sway of your body when you relaxed, or the confidence you radiate. In everyday life, he pictures being there to notice it, to appreciate it, and to feel connected to you in a way no one else can. This fantasy isn't shallow it. It's about being the person who matters to you, who holds a place in your world that no one else does. Another reason this is so captivating is that it combines desire with emotional depth. Men don't just want to admire you, they want to feel that admiration is reciprocated in some way, that there's a private connection that only he shares with you. This makes him fantasize about moments that are personal, quiet, and intimate, the kind of moments that create tension, attraction, and lingering curiosity. Here's the key takeaway. Men are drawn not just to physical attribute, but to the feeling of being exclusive, chosen, and trusted. When he fantasizes about your chest, he's also imagining being the one who experiences your presence in a way that is unique to him. That fantasy is emotional, sensual, and deeply personal. It's the kind of attraction that keeps him thinking about you long after you leave the room, imagining what it would be like to share those private, magnetic moments together. So remember, it's never just about what he sees. It's about the connection he imagines, the closeness he dreams of, and the way he feels special simply because you exist in his mind in a way no one else does. That's the power of exclusivity, and it's one of the most irresistible fantasies men hold, even if they never admit it aloud. So let's quickly recap, because this is important. Men's fascination with your chest isn't just about size or shape. It's about how you carry yourself, how you move, and the energy you radiate. We've talked about 5 things he secretly fantasizes about. Confidence in your posture, the intimacy of touch, the natural rhythm of your movement, how he admires your confidence, and finally, the fantasy of exclusivity, being the one who gets to see and appreciate you in ways no one else does. Each of these points shows that attraction isn't shallow, It's about presence, subtlety, and connection. Here's the powerful takeaway. The most magnetic women aren't just physically attractive. They command attention through confidence, self-love, and authenticity. Every little gesture you make, every subtle shift in posture, every playful or relaxed movement communicates something irresistible. And when you understand these 5 secret fantasies, you gain insight into how men perceive and admire you in ways that are often hidden, and how to use that understanding to feel even more confident in your own skin. Before you go, here's something to think about the next time you catch him staring, or you notice him lingering just a little too long. Don't feel self-conscious. Instead, remember that what he's drawn to is your energy, your confidence, and the way you naturally move and exist in your own space. That's the real secret he can't stop thinking about, and it's yours to embrace. If you found this helpful, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because I share tips like this every week to help you feel confident, empowered, and magnetic in every area of your life. And trust me, you're going to want to come back for the next one. Remember, ladies, confidence isn't just sexy, it's irresistible.